Good evening, I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. More Marylanders will have access to the COVID-19 vaccine starting tomorrow. That's when the FEMA-run mass vaccination site opens in Prince George's County. Byron Scott is at the Greenbelt Metro Station with the story.
Well, this FEMA-run site at Greenbelt slated to open tomorrow. I'm going to hop out of the way so you can see what's going on. You see the big tents out here, and you see the workers putting up the vaccination center signage out here. Now, when this does open up, it'll be the only nationally operated location in Maryland. Some 3,000 shots will be administered a day with the vaccine supply coming directly from the federal government. Now, officials say this site will primarily serve residents of Prince George's County, which has the most COVID infections and the lowest immunization rate in the state. OnePlus is locating it near mass transit for those without vehicles. Now, FEMA says it will have translators and interpreters at the site. There'll be signage around the metro station pointing out the free parking. Once again, you can see out here the workers making the last-minute changes here as the site prepares to open tomorrow. Again, the Greenbelt vaccination site opens tomorrow and will remain open through June. I'm Byron Scott.
Eligible residents can register at maryland.gov. Well, Maryland turns a page in its race to get residents vaccinated. Beginning today, all Marylanders 16 years and older can get the COVID vaccine at mass vaccination sites. During a press conference yesterday, the governor announced that residents will be eligible for shots through all providers by next Monday, April 12th. 7 additional mass centers are expected to open this month, including 3 locations this week. Also, nearly 500 retail and independent pharmacies will administer the COVID vaccine.
Every single person that's over 16 is not going to get one immediately, but we do believe that over those next few weeks of April and May that we will have enough vaccines for everybody, and that's why we're trying to get an organized process. We don't want to slow down. We want to keep ramping up. So it's not going to be instantly, millions of people tomorrow are going to be able to get one, but over the next several weeks, they will.
And remember, you can pre-register for an appointment at covidvax.maryland.gov. 15 Marylanders have died from COVID in the last 24 hours. That, according to the state health department. The statewide death toll is now nearly 8,200. Meantime, the agency today reports 867 new infections. More than 419,000 cases have been reported since the pandemic began. Well, it's been a year and counting since the coronavirus landed on our shores. Although the vaccination program seems like a cure-all for the pandemic, lawmakers say there is still much more to be done. Senator Jim Rosapep says that's why a plan needs to be put in place.
This is not over. I mean, we see cases rising. We know the variants are around. We don't know how long the vaccines protect us for. So this is not going away. This is not like one and done. What are we going to do for the rest of 2021? What are we going to do in 2022? We still have to do testing. We still have to do tracing. People are still getting sick. People are still getting the virus. And they need to be protected. And what are we going to do in terms of vaccinations? Once we get through the vaccination on demand, which is what the governor and the president have proposed, which I'm very supportive of, vaccination on demand. But that doesn't count everybody who doesn't initially want to get a vaccination. So we still have more people who we need to encourage to get vaccinated and help them get vaccinated, even if they're a little hesitant. So we get a lot of those people. And then we don't know how long the vaccine lasts. It could be that you have to get a booster shot 6 months from now, 12 months from now. We don't know. We got to have a plan as we learn more about that to deal with all that.
The bill passed unanimously in the Senate. SB 741 is currently before 2 House committees. A companion bill sponsored by Delegate Joseline Pena-Melnick is also in the House. A Navy medic is shot dead at the Fort Detrick Army base in Frederick County. It happened this morning after the suspect allegedly shot 2 people at a nearby business park. The 2 victims were flown to Baltimore shock trauma with life-threatening injuries. Officials say after the initial shooting at Riverside Tech Park, the unidentified gunman went to Fort Detrick about 10 minutes away. Minutes after breaching a base entry gate, officials say he was shot to death. You're watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all of the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back. A former Maryland MVA employee has been indicted for bribery and identity theft for producing dozens of fake driver's licenses. She's 54-year-old Marion Payne of Harwood. According to officials, Payne created, transferred, and sold Maryland driver's licenses while she worked at the MVA Largo branch from July 2015 through March of 2016. If convicted, she faces 25 years in jail. A second person, 35-year-old Antonio Portillo of Virginia, has pleaded guilty for his role in the scheme. Police are looking for a man accused of sexually assaulting a woman and shooting at a special police officer early this morning. It happened just after 2 o'clock in the 5300 block of Sheriff Road in Fairmont Heights. Investigators say a woman told an officer at a nearby business that she had been sexually assaulted. The officer tried to stop the suspect, and during a struggle, shots were fired. No one was injured. The suspect fled in a vehicle. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact Prince George's Police. And police make an arrest in connection with a triple homicide in Capitol Heights over the weekend. This is the suspect, 38-year-old Saeed Hayat of Northeast D.C. Investigators say it was just before 3 a.m. when he shot 3 people inside of a vehicle that was parked at a fire station in the 5500 block of Sheriff Road. Killed were 55-year-old Angela Thompson, 54-year-old Louis Woodson, and 54-year-old Keith Lee. Hayat fled on foot but was arrested a short time later. He faces first and second-degree murder charges. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact police. A University of Maryland professor is giving a platform to gun violence survivors. He has a new docuseries called Life After the Gunshot. It highlights 10 black male survivors from D.C. and Prince George's who suffered from violent injuries. Executive producer Joseph Richardson says the series initially started as a study in 2013, focusing on structural violence.
Placing young men in conditions where there's inadequate housing, underfunded schools, a concentration of poverty, food deserts, a criminal justice system that labels them and stigmatizes them for the rest of their lives, and the over-policing in their communities. These are the things that we really wanted to bring to light.
It's time to give a voice to the young black men that's been violently injured.
And there will be 3 more episodes. For more information, visit lifeafterthegunshot.com. And we will be back in just a moment with more news. Stay with us.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
And thanks for staying with us. A Cheltenham man could face up to 20 years in federal prison on wire fraud charges. He's 45-year-old Rudolph Brooks Jr. According to officials, Brooks applied for a PPP loan for about $1.5 million. It was on behalf of his business known as Cars Direct. Yet authorities allege that he used the money for personal use. Officials say that Brooks filed fraudulent tax returns and attempted to obtain 2 additional COVID-19 relief loans. Now, authorities have seized more than $2.2 million from his bank accounts. Prince George's municipalities are set to receive $160 million in federal pandemic recovery funds. Topping the list, College Park with nearly $27 million. The city has been in the midst of a development blitz with an ongoing transformation of the Route 1 corridor. Developers have filed rezoning plans to create a mixed-use property in the 7300 block of Baltimore Avenue. The entrance of Campus Drive is also being overhauled, as is development near that intersection. Other cities to receive federal funds: Laurel, which will get more than $21 million. Greenbelt, Hyattsville, and Bladensburg will also get money to use over the next 3 years. Well, do you own a Hyattsville business that was hit hard by the pandemic? If so, you could qualify for the city's COVID-19 Pandemic Relief Fund. It's currently accepting applications for the Professional Trades Grant Program. Barbers, cosmetologists, and pet groomers can apply. Hyattsville is also accepting applications for its Working Artists Relief Fund. City residents can receive up to $750, and non-city residents can receive $300.
If you had or still work for an arts or culture related entity and you did not have an income, we work to make sure that those funds were available.
As we continue to support these artists, working trades, we're able to then allow them to continue to work to the best of their ability, provided the funds.
And for more information, you can visit hyattsville.org. Well, parents, students, and educators plan to hold a car rally this week against what they call pandemic denial. The group is calling for the school system to ensure that facilities provide proper ventilation, enforcement of masking, vaccinations for teachers, and flexibility for educators who have health concerns. Organizers are calling for school officials to address concerns before in-person learning begins on April 8th. The car rally takes place on April 7th at 4 p.m. at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. Well, now let's get a quick check of our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, temperatures drop to 49. Tomorrow, a very slight chance of rain, but otherwise a beautiful day. High 78, lows in the 50s. Thursday, partly cloudy with a high of 69. Friday, some April showers with a high of 62. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone. Have a great night.